2 years ago, CONMEBOL, South America's football league, adopted a new rule which stated that starting in 2019, only clubs which also have women's teams would be allowed into their tournaments, like the Libertadores Cup. For Brazil, that's left a number of major clubs on the outside looking in. Despite progress, women's football still struggles in a sporting environment dominated by men.
It's important that CONMEBOL has now this new rule about Libertadores, that if you do not have a female team, you can't play Libertadores. I don't know if they are really going to apply this, but I think it's already an improvement that they thought about it.
The Santos Football Club, the home of Pelé, has had a professional women's football team since the late 1990s. Several of its players made it to the national team, like midfielder Maria Alves and goalkeeper Dani Neuhaus.
Women's football is not developing at a fast pace, but slowly we are advancing and things are improving. Soon it will be able to grow on its own, but we know things in Brazil always takes time.
Women's football is good in Brazil, but we lack support and visibility. There's much talent, but not enough opportunities for girls to play.
Women's football still has to grow a lot to catch up with the men in this football-crazed country. But it has already come a long way from a time when women here were forbidden by law to play football. The content director of São Paulo's Football Museum says starting 1941, Brazil had a law that stood until 1979 prohibiting girls and women from playing sports like football because they were considered unwomanly. In the early 20th century, a women's football match was presented as a circus attraction.
Since the 2014 World Cup, we've seen more investment and initiatives to support women's football. But the problem is there's no continuity. The constant interruptions and changes in sporting policies in Brazil is one of the big barriers to development of women's football.
In this match, the Santos women's team beat the Portuguesa Football Club 5-0. A big victory seen by a relatively small audience of about 1,000 people. The women on the pitch are working hard and doing their part, but there is a long way to go before they get the recognition they want. Paulo Cabral, CGTN, Santos.